Okay, so in this video we are going to continue our discussion of module 4. The topic that we are going to discuss today is digital frequency meter. Okay, so a simple digital frequency meter will look like this. You have an AND gate. One input of the AND gate is you have a pulse of duration 1 second, okay, or on time of 1 second, and the other input of the AND gate is are pulses. Okay, now these pulses, okay, are produced from the signal that you want to measure frequency of. Okay, let us say if you have signal like this, okay, if you have some signal like this, okay, like some random signal, that has to be converted into pulses like this. Okay, like some pulses you have to convert, and then it will be given to the AND gate. Okay, remember that AND gate is a digital circuit. So the input that is required for the AND gate is a digital signal. So when you want to measure the frequency of a signal, you have to first convert that signal into digital. Okay, you have to convert that signal into digital. In this case, we are going to convert that into a train of pulses like this. Okay, we have to convert into train of pulses. The same train of pulses, okay, is given to AND gate. Now AND gate will be active only when both the inputs of the AND gate are 1. Okay, so because of this, what happens, you will get a signal like this, where you have a train of pulses which are active for 1 second. Okay, which are active for 1 second. Okay, then next is, now these pulses which you get here, right, those will be given to a counter. Okay, those will be given to a electronic counter, and that electronic counter is going to count these pulses, and how many pulses you have or how many pulses you have counted, okay, that is proportional to what is the frequency, okay, of the unknown signal. Hmm? Okay, now circuitry that you require, okay, is that first thing is you have unknown signal, right? Hmm. Okay, so you have a signal whose frequency you don't know. Okay, frequency you don't know. Okay, so that frequency or that signal, you have to first convert that into train of pulses, right? You have to convert that into train of pulses. That is achieved using these three steps. So whatever is the signal that you want to measure or the frequency that you want to measure, that is first given to an amplifier. This amplifier adjusts the magnitude of the signal so that it will be given to the Schmitt trigger. The Schmitt trigger, in turn, what it does is that it converts this analog signal into a train of pulses, or you can say a square waveform. Okay, train of pulses or square waveform. Okay, now depending on this, this square waveforms which are produced, that is given to a start and stop gate. Okay, what is a start and stop gate we will see next, but what this start and stop gate does is that it is going to count these pulses, okay, for a known amount of time. Okay, the start and stop gate is going to help you to read these pulses or count these pulses for a fixed duration of time. Okay, for a fixed duration of time. Now depending on how many count is read by this gate, that will be displayed using this digital readout. Okay, so just now we have seen the start stop gate, right? So that is expanded here. Okay, so this dotted box which you see, right, that is the start stop gate. Okay, so what you have to understand here, first point, okay, is this pulses from time based selector. Okay, so normally it will be giving out pulses like this. Okay, it will be of fixed duration. pulses from time based selector. That is what I am drawing. Okay, so duration will be fixed. Okay, and so on. For understanding the circuit, the 3 pulses are, you can say, sufficient. Okay, so this pulses from time based selector. Okay, pulses from time based selector, it will be something like this. Now, the difference between two pulses, okay, or you can say the duration between two pulses will be fixed. Okay, it could be 1 second. Okay, so if this is 1 second, then this will also be 1 second. Okay, next pulse also, if it is coming, that also will be having duration of 1 second. Okay, so this you have to first remember. Okay, you can say understand. Next, okay, initially when you reset your circuit, you can see there are two flip-flops, right? So this FF1 which is there and FF2 which is there, both of these flip-flops are SR flip-flops. Okay, set reset flip-flops. So FF1 as well as FF2 are set reset flip-flops. Okay, now initially your FF1, okay, initially FF1 or flip-flop 1 is set. So this flip-flop is going to be set initially. Okay, it is going to be set initially, and then because this is set, what will happen, you have two outputs of your flip-flop. Okay, normally for this circuit, Y represents Q, or you can say your output of your flip-flop. Okay, and Y bar represents Q bar. Okay, so if you have a set signal, okay, initially if your FF1 is set, then my Y is going to become 1. Okay, my Y is going to become 1, and the same one is given to the one input of stop gate. Okay, now again, since you can see there are two flip-flops as well as there are two gates. Okay, as well as there are two gates. One gate is called as a stop gate, the other gate is called as a start gate. So initially my FF1 is set and my Y is 1. Now if Y is 1, then Y bar is 0. Okay, so what I will do, I will just mark it. So here I have a 1. Here I have a 0. Okay, I hope you can understand. Okay, initially it is set, that is why you get 0 and 1 like that. Okay, at the start and stop gates. The second input of the AND gate, if you see, that is connected to the pulse from time based generator. Okay, pulse from time based generator. Okay, so what we will do, we will mark some points. Okay, let us say at this time this is 1. Okay, instance 1, then here it is instance 2, here it is instance 3. Okay, so there is instance 1, 2, 3. Okay, in time. Okay, in time. So you have 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. Okay, so at instance 1 here, okay, and let us say what happens. So when you are at instance 1, you will get 1 here, also you will get 1 here. Okay, so at instance 1 you will get 1 here as well as you will get 1 here. So currently your start gate, you can say a start gate, one input of the start gate is 0, so this start gate will be inactive. Okay, whereas if you see the stop gate, both the inputs of the stop gate are 1. Okay, so what you can do, you can write here. Okay, at this instance what happens is that stop is, you're going to say stop gate is on. Okay, and start gate is off. Okay, why it is off is because you have 1 and 0. Now if you can see, the output of the stop gate is 1 now. Okay, and that is given to your set input of flip-flop 2. Okay, this signal is given to the set input of your flip-flop 2. Now because set input of flip-flop 2 has become 1, what will happen? Your Y will become 1. Okay, your Y will become 1 and your Y bar will become 0. Okay. Okay, for this input what happens? This will become 1, then this one is given here, and because of that what happens? You'll get a 1 here at Y and get a 0 here at Y bar. Okay, and this Y bar which has become 0, the same signal is given to the main gate. Okay, the same signal is given to the main gate and your main gate becomes off, or is it inactive, you can see. Okay, so your main gate which is there, main gate is off. Okay, I hope you can understand this. So what is happening here is that at instance 1 I have a pulse. This pulse is giving 1, right? So that 1 is applied here and it is applied here, and because my flip-flop 1 is initially set, I have here 1 and here 0. Because of this combination my stop gate becomes active and I have set here 1, and that is going to keep my main gate off. Okay, keep my main gate off. So once your main gate is off, these pulses which are there, okay, you can see here this part. If you see, I have an unknown frequency and the Schmitt trigger is used to convert this analog signal into a pulses of square waves, or you can say pulses which you can measure. Now these pulses will be able to pass through this main gate. Okay, these pulses will be able to pass through this main gate only if your B input becomes 1. Okay, these pulses can pass through this main gate only if your B becomes 1. But at instance 1, okay, my B is 0. Okay, so at instance 1 my B is 0. Okay, so what you'll do is you can write okay, here you can write no pulses. Okay, no pulses counted. Okay, so at instance 1 there will be no counting of pulse. Okay, now let us say you want to count the pulses. Okay, after you count the pulses only you can measure the frequency. Okay, so let us say I want to count the pulses. Okay, so if you can see, okay, if you can see here, okay, there is a read signal. Okay, there is a read signal, a read pulse. Whenever you want to count the pulses, what we will do is we will give a signal here. Okay, now this signal is given to the reset of this flip-flop. Okay, this signal is given to the reset of this flip-flop. Okay, so let us say okay, at this instance I am giving a read pulse. Okay, so at this instance, an instance between 1 and 2, okay, an instance between 1 and 2, I give a read pulse. Okay, I give a read pulse. This read pulse is given here, okay, at reset of flip-flop 1. Because of this reset of flip-flop 1, what happens? The y of f of 1 will become 0 and y bar will become 1. Okay, so what will happen is okay, so what will happen? I have 1 here at reset that 1 is going to make y 0. So at this point, instead of getting 1, you will get a 0, and at this point, instead of getting a 0, you will get a 1. Okay, so the next time your pulse from time base selector comes, okay, the next time the pulse from the time base selector comes, the start gate will active. Okay, now if you can see the start gate, both the inputs are 1. For stop gate, one input is 0, one input is 1. Okay, so at instance 2, what happens? Okay, so at instance 2, what happens is that your start gate, okay, your start gate is on. Okay, at instance 2, your start gate is on and your stop gate is off. So here you will not get 1, you will get a 0. Here you will get a 1. Okay. Okay, so here you will get a 0. Okay, stop gate you will get a 0, and at start gate you will get a 1. Okay, and that is supplied to the reset of flip-flop 2. Okay, that is supplied to the reset of your flip-flop 2. Okay, reset of flip-flop 2. So what you can say is, here you will get a 1 and here you will get a 0. Okay, because your flip-flop 2 is reset. Okay, and because of this what happens? Because of this what happens? Okay, because of this what happens? Your main gate becomes on. Okay, your main gate becomes on. Why? Because the y bar of flip-flop 2, okay, the y bar of flip-flop 2 is on. Okay, y bar of flip-flop 2 is on, and you can count the pulses now. Okay, so at this instance what you can see, you can pulse can be counted. Okay, pulse can be counted. So depending on what is the frequency or what is the signal at the Schmitt trigger, okay, depending on what are the pulses here, this is one, so these pulses can pass through this main gate and they will be counted. Okay, now one thing which you can see here at this point is that the output of this start is given to reset of this, as well as it is given to the set of the, you can say, f of 1, or you can say flip-flop 1. Okay, now because of this set signal which is coming here, what will happen? This flip-flop 1 will again go back to set position. The flip-flop 1 is again going to go to set position. Okay, so again what happens? You will get a 1 here, and again you will get a 0 here. Okay, but what it has to wait for the next pulse from the time base selector. Okay, that means my counting is started at this point. It has to wait till the third instance. Okay, I'll just take pointer. Okay, so my counting can start from second pulse here. Now till the third pulse arrives, it can count the number of pulses from the Schmitt trigger. Okay, so it can count these pulses from Schmitt trigger during the duration of second and third. Okay, during duration of second and third. At third, what happens? You will have one here at the stop gate, one here from the time base selector. So what will happen? It will generate a 1, and that is going to set my flip-flop 2, and because of set, what will happen? This y bar is going to become 0. Okay, that is going to happen at third. Okay, and at third what will happen? Your again stop gate is on, main gate becomes off. Okay, and again you cannot count the pulses. So in all of this, okay, you can count the pulses only during this duration. Okay, between 2 and 3. Okay, between 2 and 3 you can count the duration. Sorry, between 2 and 3 you can count the pulses which are coming from the Schmitt trigger. Okay, try to understand. Okay, next we have is a detailed circuit. So in previous circuit what we have seen is the pointer. Okay, so previous circuit what we have seen is you have input signal, you give it to some amplifier, okay, to adjust the levels, then it will be given to the Schmitt trigger. The Schmitt trigger is going to produce a train of square waves, okay, or pulses. Now these pulses are proportional to the frequency of the input signal, and we have to count it. Now for how much duration you want to count, okay, now how much duration you want to count, okay, that is controlled by this gate flip-flop, okay, the circuit we have just seen. Okay, there will be a start gate, stop gate, main gate, right? So that is the gate flip-flop. Okay, the input to the gate flip-flop was pulse from the time base selector. Okay, pulse from the time base selector. Just now the diagram we have seen, right? The input to the gate flip-flop was pulse from time base selector. So you can see here, this is the time base selector. Okay, this entire thing which you can see, that is the time base selector. So what it is selecting is that what should be the time between two different pulses. That means the example which we have seen, the example what I gave you was something like this, right? The pulses from time base selector were of 1 second. Okay, that means the duration between two pulses were 1 second, right? Now you can change that. So you can see here, okay, you can see here this selector, it is currently connected to 100 microsecond. If you change that and connect it here, okay, then you get a pulse of 1 second, or the duration between two pulses is 1 second. If you change it here, then the duration will become 100 millisecond. What duration will become 100 millisecond is this, okay. Okay, this duration, okay, between two pulses, like this is pulses there, this is pulses there, right? That duration will become 100 millisecond. Okay, same way this also will become 100 millisecond. Okay, so by changing the duration, okay, you can measure a frequency of higher magnitude, right? Let us say you have 1 kilohertz signal that you want to measure, right? 1 kilohertz signal means what you will have is you will have around 1 into 10 raised to 3, okay, 1 into 10 raised to 3 pulses in 1 second. Okay, that is what it means. Okay, 1 into 10 raised to 3 pulses in 1 second. If your time base selector is connected to 1 second, instead of doing that, what you can do is that you can count like this. If I get one pulse, okay, if I got one pulse in 1 millisecond, okay, if I get one pulse in 1 millisecond, that also corresponds to 1 kilohertz. Okay, that also corresponds to 1 kilohertz. Okay, so it depends on how you want to count. Okay, you can count 1 kilohertz as 10 raised to 3 pulses in 1 second, or you can count it as one pulse in 1 millisecond. Okay, so if you select 1 millisecond as a selector, and if you get one pulse through this gate, again, then that means that the frequency is 1 kilohertz. Instead of that, if you're having 1 second as a time based selector, okay, then it has to count 10 raised to 3 pulses. Okay, it has to count 10 raised to 3 pulses in 1 second. So this adjustments you can do using this time based selector.